Hi, my name is Similulua Hassan, and this is the SmartOnes, brought to you by Exquisite TV. Now, over the years, people have this notion that education is a scam, that it's a waste of time. That is where the SmartOne comes in. I'll be having conversations with my guests. My guests will be coming from different walks of life, actors, lawyers, bankers, captains of industry. And we'll be blending entertainment and education together. We are trying to change the narrative that education is a scam. All right. My guest today is an actor, producer, director. He's my very good friend. You know him as Eleniyan. I know him as Olarotimi Fakunle. Brother, it's good to have you here, man.
Good to have you too, bro.
So I'm going to start. Okay, yeah, let me give you the rules for this game. You don't need to chop out, Abby. So I'm going to be asking you, we're going to be talking about your journey in the industry in Nollywood. And then we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be asking you academic questions. 10 of them. Mm-hmm. Now, the questions are here. So you pick any of these questions, and then for every answer you get correct, I have to eat one of this sumptuous chicken and dip it in any of the sauces. But for every one that you get wrong, you have to, I will determine the sauce you are going to use. Now, this is hot, very hot. This is ketchup. This is in between. I will be the one to decide.
This is chili sauce.
It's in between.
I don't listen.
So I'm going to start with your name. I've always wanted to ask you, brother, Olarotimi. The first time I heard Olarotimi, back then, the only Olarotimi I know is Olarotimi, the playwright. But I heard Olarotimi. Is he Olarotimi's son? Or so I'm sure you get this reaction from a lot of people. How did your name come about? How did your parents come up with the idea for your name?
So I get that a lot. And then the late Professor Glaston Olawale
Rotimi, yeah.
Picked Ola and then Rotimi together.
Okay.
That my name is one word.
It's one word.
It's actually Ola Oluwa Rotimi.
Okay.
But it's too long to write in WAEC.
Okay.
Because they won't take it. Because I'm somebody who I love names. Because I believe that African names have meanings, and there's a reason why they give us the names that we have and we bear.
Absolutely.
So I said, okay, how do I make the names look? And I had no idea that there was even an Olarotimi. That's the funniest and craziest part. But because I now came into this circle.
Yeah.
Every now and then, where's the Olarotimi? But you know how sometimes you are tempted to say,
yes,
so maybe you get some favors. But I'm glad I never did admit to that, because I would have put myself in some deep shit that I may be unable to get out of. But so my name is Olarotimi Fakunle. It's one word. Olarotimi, one word.
One word.
Fakunle.
I know you spent some time in Abeokuta. The last time we went to Abeokuta, was it last year or thereabouts?
It was 2 years ago.
And you were talking about your time in school there.
Abeokuta was the best year of my life.
Okay. Which school did you go?
So I went to Lafayette High School.
Okay.
My brother went to St. Peter's College, Olomore, one of them. The other one went to Premier Grammar School. And I think one of them went to the same school as I. That's my immediate elder brother. So I was the last of 4 boys. 8 family, 4 boys, 4 girls.
Okay.
So Lafayette High School was an experience that I would want to live again. I want my children to live through that experience, because it's the best time I ever had growing up. As a child into a teenager. Abeokuta was very beautiful. It was very sweet for me.
Yeah.
And funny enough how that was how the journey into this
what you do right now
started here.
Okay. Before we get into how you got into Nollywood, like I said, I have 10 questions here. 10 questions. You have to pick one. Now, the only way you get scot-free is if you answer 8 correctly.
Scot-free in what regard?
You don't worry about that. It's me and you.
There's something to call on.
So 8, and then you go. If you don't get up to 8, you have 2 extra here to redeem yourself.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I know
So-
my lips.
Pick one question.
So because I'm a very old person, I don't like to start from the beginning. I don't like to start from the end.
Okay.
I can start anywhere.
Anywhere.
So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this 2, 3, 2, Biko, Maria, Bimla, Sokoto, Miriam, Kwas, Aria, Sokoto. 1. That's it.
So this one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you picked a question in English language. Now the question says, choose the option that best completes the sentence. I really like working in that office. I found the dash really friendly. A, condition. B, atmosphere. C, air. D, situation.
I really like working in that office. I found the blah blah really
Friendly. Now this question was taken from the from YA year 2007.
2007. I don't buy it, man. What kind of this is this? I don't buy it in 1990. Read it again.
I really like working in that office. I found the dash really friendly. A, condition. B, atmosphere. C, air. D, situation.
I'll say atmosphere. Because atmosphere refers to environment.
Okay.
I found the environment really friendly.
Let me check. Where is it? Question 6.
I get that. The only problem is say you can't chop the food now. But I don't want. I'll fail the next one.
Oh, okay. Intentionally, Abi. Okay, so which of the sources should I...
This
let
one.
me use this one. No, please.
No, you don't get to win all the time. This one. When is my turn? You can choose. You didn't deep
No, let me... Hey.
I can help you by giving you water. What do you want?
Give me juice. This is hot.
Eat more.
No.
No, I won't answer the next question. You cannot take a bite.
Don't do this to me now.
Take another one.
Don't do this to me.
Then I can give you some juice. Any man cook bad, any man pa.
This is hot.
So I'm a very good person.
Yes.
It's because there's camera. I'm not that nice, but continue.
Okay, so one more question, then we'll get back to your journey into the industry.
Because this, I started from the middle, so I'm going to go back.
You want to start to chop this thing now?
I'm ready.
This is maths.
I'm going to fail it. It's my worst subject in the whole wild world. So it's okay.
Okay. In how many ways can 6 subjects be selected from 10 subjects for an examination? Just pick this thing. Just speak it. Just speak it. But for those who,
Ask the question again.
but let me ask you the question
Ask again.
In how many ways can 6 subjects be selected from 10 subjects for an examination? The options are A, 218, B, 216, C,
It's okay. Don't stress my head.
But for those who'd love to know, okay, you did me. Let me do you back. This one, dip it well.
I'm a Yoruba name.
Okay, so the answer is 210. In how many ways can 6 subjects be selected from 10 subjects for an examination? The correct answer is 210. Okay.
How? Explain.
I will explain after the show. We don't really... Don't put me... Hey, I'm the one presenting this show. I almost said this is my show. It's not my show. It's for... Yeah, so you can't put me on the spot. So let's talk about your journey in this industry. You said your formative years in Abeokuta created a path for you into what you do today.
I'm clean down.
Do you want water?
No,
Okay, I'm sorry.
Continue.
Yeah, so how did this start for you?
Let me just take this.
Okay. Well, I told you.
I'll do you back. So, I remember that when I got into, because my immediate elder brother was like 4 years older than me.
Okay.
So when I got into school, I was in GSS1. I know my Yoruba teacher, Mr. Yusuf, I learned he's late now.
That's rest his soul.
He loves literature so much.
Okay.
So he started making us have interest in reading books. So I had the opportunity to be reading the Macmillan African poetry.
Okay.
There's volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. So as you advance in class, in fact, they made us to start reading that from GSS1.
Wow.
So I picked interest in the African poetry, the Yoruba African poetry of all the gods, the pantheon of gods.
Okay.
I'm proud of that. Then they used to do this thing called the Literary and Debate Society, where they will have, each school has their own day.
Yeah, reps.
Where
Yeah.
other schools will come, they have competitions in dance, in music, in debate. Now they call it spoken word, but then we call it poetry recitation.
Okay.
And so I just said, I don't know what boldness came upon me. I said, I want to represent my school. I told my elder brother. I said, I'll do it. So the first poem I chose was Ogun.
By?
No, it's an African poetry.
Oh, okay.
They don't have,
Yeah.
they call it Macmillan African
okay, so you
poetry.
have
they don't have the
select
a
poems.
particular author.
Okay.
But it was what I know that it was coined from the traditional oratory of the Yoruba about the pantheon of gods. But it's under the Macmillan publishing stuff. So, and I said, so how do we do it? How do we make it different? So, what do I know? So I shall call some of my classmates that we don't have sense to. I think it was Taiwo Aderibigbe and Teslin Shilababa. So one person will do Ogun. I will do the poem. One person will do Ogun Acolyte. So, we now read that, okay, after the poem, they will give you some background, they will tell you, these are the attributes of Ogun, this is what, just like the Yoruba. Now, I understand it better as I matured in age and I also started experiencing more theater and literature. That Mariwolasho Ogun was Palmfront. But I didn't know what
What it meant back then. You were just reading it as it was.
So I say, Ogun kills on the right and reigns on the right. And kills on the right and reigns on the left. Ogun kills on the left and reigns on the right. Ogun kills quickly in the house, quickly in the bush. Ogun kills the child playing with a knife. Ogun kills quietly. Ogun kills the thief and the man who is robbed. Ogun kills the master of the house and paints the house in blood. It's so crazy that I still remember.
Way back.
Now, let me go to the future and go back to the past again. I says, that's why I understand that. When we Ogun Alada Meji, Afọkan Sheko, Afọkan Yeno. Do you understand? Those are part of the things that person was about. But I hadn't know. I now call my friend. I now go and pack from that tight. When I go there, say, laugh from high school, say, oh, whoa! Ogun kills on the right and reads on the left. Ogun kills on the left. Until I left Laughing High School, nobody ever beat us in poetry recitation.
Wow.
Our school always comes first.
Wow.
And that's how my journey into this thing started.
And then from Lafenwa, I know you finished from Lasu.
Yeah, from Lafenwa I came to Lagos.
Okay.
I couldn't do my WAEC in Abeokuta because my father was a soldier. I was supposed to have my WAEC at my teenage years in 90, very young teenage years by the way, in 96. But that posting was very important. So we all had to leave Abeokuta and come back to Lagos. So I went to Army Cantonment Boys Secondary School. I enrolled there, got my transfer stuff from Lafenwa High School. So I think I did my first WAEC in 97. And my result was withheld. Well, I just started. So that 97, when I came, I was hearing some things about NCAC, National Center for Art and Culture. I had a friend in my church who was also doing part of Speak Out edition for NCA2.
Yeah.
So they put me there. I went there to speak to the Abeokuta English that I know. I think I did one episode of K Division 101. I was very fortunate to. But even at this time, I was just a child or a teenager looking for how to express some of these things that I've been feeling for a bit. And that's why I said I went to NCAC, started training under Victor Thompson Young, Shuaib Husseini, the late Victor Eze, Mufu Onifade, and then I just went to a plethora of amazing
instructors, performers,
and this is me today.
Wow. Okay, so let's get back to the questions now.
So I started from
You started from here. Yeah. Okay, literature in English. You just say you go get this one, but we'll go.
No worry, man.
A pause within a line of a poem is A. Zugma, B. Foot, C. Kajura, D. Stress. A pause within a line of a poem is...
The stress will be the pause can be a stress. I think can be a stress.
Okay. If it can't be a stress, so it's either a Kajura, a Foot, or a Zugma. Which one is it? I mean, we were reciting a poem just now, so...
The one kills on the right and rains on the left. The one kills on the left and rains on the right. This again, I read the options to me. I want to feel it.
Okay, Zugma, Foot, Kajura, and Stress.
I'll say stress.
Eat.
What's the answer?
The answer is actually C, Kajura.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
I know I finished this one.
Yeah. Then,
but I'm going to be gentle with you. Can I take the ketchup?
This is too sweet.
Sorry. Okay, so let's take one more question, and then we get to talk about, how far you've gone in the industry, where you were before, and then where you are right now. Let's take one more question. Okay. Government. The chairman of the UN Security Council emerges through A, a consensus, B, rotation, C, election, D, selection.
Consensus.
Is that your final answer? You don't want to change your mind.
I'm not changing.
Let me take question 3. Yes, please.
Thank you.
It is actually through rotation.
I don't care.
Taste this one. Taste that.
It's you. Yes.
So, what was your first foray into novels? I mean, let's say the first job that you ever did. How much did you get paid for it? I mean, you've been in the industry for how many years now?
20 years.
20 years.
28. What's 28?
Can you still remember your first paid job in Nollywood?
So I start from my first. What is it Nollywood? You are going to be streaming. It's a film. I don't think
yeah, please.
In entertainment.
In the arts, yes.
My first paid job was where I administration when we came to Nigeria in 1999. Wow. I was paid 5,000 naira.
Okay.
Even though I moved that because that was the first time I literally remember that I was sick. Because we rehearsed for 4 weeks.
Okay.
And it was able to rehearsal and morning till night. And we just did a dance drama for him at the National Stadium in Seoul. But it was a great show. It was a very great show. But I should know that I was down afterwards for 3 weeks, and I literally almost died.
Wow.
Well, I'm grateful that I'm still here. That was my first paid job.
5,000 naira. What did you do with it? I mean, how many years?
I took it home.
Oh, okay.
I took it home. I gave it to my mom. Even though I knew I would come for it because I can't spend time still to we know that joy of say I cannot make money, I cannot do this, I take.
Wow.
The second day like this, it started like play. But for film, my first ever film will be Gangster's Paradise.
Okay.
Starring Emeka a.k.a. Georgina Onoha. Thank you.
Which year was this?
I think it was in 99, early 2000. Or 2000. I was once crowding little. Oh,
TV.
excuse me.
TV.
Ah, God. I was so little that, how when I was going to Winnie's, I don't know where I even got that madness, zeal, and energy from. I said, I will go. I'll go. And I don't know what I'd forgotten the name of the director and I've forgotten but I don't know what he saw in me. I was like, this boy, you have talent, oh, this, that. Again, put me in one scene. They gave me policeman role. They gave me gun. In that time. So that story was the story of this film that Queen Latifah did with Jada Pinkett.
Set It Off.
Set It Off. It was that kind of story.
Yeah.
So he gave me gun. I had red clothes. And I can't have one scene. I cannot forget we shot that particular scene in First Act.
Okay.
I stood behind one doorway out of the tree like this. Point my gun. Lo and behold, when the film came out, it was the nozzle of the gun I saw. But I knew that was the.
I'm in the film. Watch it. I'm going to pass now.
Holy crap! Oh Christ! It was the nozzle of the film I saw. Well, I also later on, after I had grown a bit, I got to realize that it wasn't just about me showing. I think the director just wanted to just give me an opportunity to appear. Knowing that I'd come to reading, come to the rehearsal, I tried all I could, but I was very little, I was very scroungy, so there was nothing I could have done in the film, basically. So that was my adventure into Nollywood. I think that was 99.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say this, but I don't know if you're going to agree with me. So far, because I have been part of your journey as well for some time, your biggest jobs, your biggest work so far that a lot of people know you for is Gangs of Lagos, Kazim. And, a lot of people, the way the industry is like, the Nollywood industry, you can work 15 years of your life to be an overnight success.
I understand that.
So Gangs of Lagos, Eleniyan, Kazim, how, when you got the call, the process of getting into that particular character, how did it happen?
So it was post-COVID.
Okay.
COVID hit us very badly, 2 years. For entertainers, it was really bad. For creatives, in general. And I remember that before that, we were shooting Rihanna with James Omokwe.
For
Filmovers, for
Africa Magic, yeah.
And of course, I played Aso, one of the leads. And then I remember that I slept one day and I saw that I had a manager. And I saw Demi Bango.
Shout out to Demi if you're watching this right now.
So I went to Demi the next day. I don't know. I mean, we're just acting. I said, Demi, you're going to manage me. And Demi was like, Olarotimi, a familiar job. I said, because I saw it, but I don't know how, but come and manage me. And then I was in 2021. So we had all that conversation, all that madness. It was 2020. I remember we shut down the Lagos in 2021. This is 2 years. This was 2 years after.
2 years after.
So Shash did all of that. 2021 to 2022. And post-COVID was hard for creatives, man.
Absolutely.
That time my wife was also pregnant.
Wow.
So I know it was a lot of complications with this, with that. So I was in the hospital with her that day. And I just got a call from Demi. And Demi does not really call, except it's important. Demi said, where are you? I said, I'm at home, I'm in my area. He said, can you come meet Jade Osibero? I said, who is that? She said, she's a director, she's a producer, she's this, she's that. And I think that she will need you for a project. In my mind, I'm like, so of course, people move. I don't have money. I shall called a couple of people that were owing me some small change, and I think I remember I called him salon and he sent me 5K. At that time, you can still afford to do Uber now from here to Island.
It wasn't that high.
No, it was too cost. Like
Yeah.
That's how Sha did it. Sha went. So I don't calculate the money. Say this money where I get now. I don't know if you enter Uber straight. So I enter bus to CMS. As from Ogbon now, from there I now book Uber at Marina. There was no traffic. Eleniyan was not calling me. The director is going to go. But he tell your director, she cannot go anywhere. I'm faking when they show you. She cannot go anywhere. It's not my fault. It's traffic. So I got there, and as soon as because I was also looking at the time because I needed to get back
to the
go to the hospital, and then because I was supposed to be discharged, I was not ready to go home. So I was in a hurry. So when I got there, I said, "Welcome. Do you need a minute, or do you want to cheat?" I said, "I don't want to cheat. Just give me the script." And so they gave me the script. I look at it. Said, "You need to take 15. You need to take." I said, "I'm ready." She said, "I want it in Yoruba." I said, "Okay." I looked at it. I said, "I'm ready," and then I read the first one. Okay, she said I should flip this page. I flipped to the next one. I looked at it. I said, "I'm ready." So that I said, "Yeah." So me, I was just looking because I just wanted to be done and get out. I'm not many close audition we've gone to that they will not call you back, and they will say you are awesome, but they will not call you. So I just did it out of respect for Demi, and Demi wasn't even managing me at the time. So she now said, "Okay, I said, good, but before I go, can I do one more for her?" So she now gave that. I think that scene was 4 pages.
Wow.
And I said, "Okay, now I need like 5 minutes." So I went into a room, looked at it. I think that is that. I'm all about me. I think I'm going to shine at Roko. But my shy titi left my mom could assume could do me while I could buy only cool after 2 months on that by local. It was like so when I looked at it, it wasn't written that way. It was on my layer on me, and I know that. So there's a difference between Eleniyan and
Alapata, yeah.
I'm an Ibadan man, and where I come from, I'm sorry, in Ibadan will say if you don't steal, you go do Agbero or you become an Alapata. You get that is what they used to say about Ibadan. Even though I think it's just a cliche anyway. So when I said, I remember the mention that Alapata. I remember that they looked like, but I didn't know if it was like an approval or like. That's how I left. I didn't hear anything from them. So I just sent a message to them like, "Baba, I'm going to represent you." And I think I did my best. But I remember the particular words, those particular words I said to them. I said, if I did not make this cut for this film, I'm certain that I've left enough impression on the director. She will call me for our next project. And as I left it. And then 2 days after that, message I sent to Demi, Lala called me, and she wasn't even in the country. Lala, I learned that you went to this place. Well done. Thank you for not disgracing us. Because you know me and Lala, we have a lot of history from theater. Theater and stuff. So, but my man, I'm like, okay, at least I did well, Abby. So my affirmation was confirmed. So, and then until I got a message from Maria. Are you available? I'm available. So that's how it is, and that's how I went there, picked the script, said everything. So, and then because I also know how intricate and serious the role was, so I went to the market.
Okay.
So I'll go for stunt rehearsals. I will resume back at the market in the evening to learn from a man called Baba Sulia. And Ojola is late now. He used to sell goat meat. I chose that and not cow as against, because the real Alakpatas, those are the people, because they will kill, they will roast, they will dissect, they will do the intestine by themselves. So I just thought, this is hard work. And in my mind, I envisioned that that's how my father would have sent me to school as Kazim.
Yeah.
Would have at least made me go to some small school as Kazim. So, so I chose that and I was doing that, and eventually the work came to play in Kind of Lagos, and it was evident for people to see.
I was going to ask you how, balancing how your formal and informal education has shaped your career as a whole. But before I do that, you're still watching the SmartOnes brought to you by Exquisite TV. My name is Timololo Hassan. I have my very good friend here, Olarotimi Fakunle. I'll be calling you Michael from now on.
Oh, be that.
We are sorry. Come down.
I want be that. He says, "Is that an insult?"
No, I'm sorry. We don't suffer or no. Okay, all right. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's reshuffle the questions again. Let's go. You've answered 4. You've gotten only 1 correct.
No, it's 2 I've gotten.
Yeah, which 2? It's only 1.
2 I've gotten.
You got atmosphere. Atmosphere in Konlegba. Esa. It's only atmosphere that you got right.
Let me
drop the ones that you didn't get here. Let me drop.
Choose the option nearest in meaning to the word on the line. We were warned not to indulge in recriminations.
So the underlined word must be recrimination. So what's the answer? You use your hand to
recriminate and to indulge in recriminations, indiscretions, charges, frivolous allegations. I'll choose D.
D.
So it's between D and B actually, but I'll choose D just because it has frivolous.
That's question 5, yes?
Yeah.
My friend, chop this thing.
What's the answer?
The answer is A, counter charges. Chop this thing, my friend. Chop. Big shout out to Tosin, who made all of this. How's it? Can you pass mark? What do we give Tosin from 1 to 10?
Nobody can get it perfect, you know that.
Absolutely.
I'll say 9.
Okay, so 9. So big shout out to you, Tosin. Eleniyan says you got a 9 on this one. So one more, and then we get back
by
to
yourself.
Okay.
I don't feel 4.
CRS. Don't Olarotimi.
Mama, don't you do that?
Timi. Mama. Oh yeah. In the Sermon on the Mount, what did Jesus teach his disciples to do when faced with persecution? Okay. A, they should fast. They should pray and fast. B, they should take immediate vengeance. C, they should leave vengeance to God. D, they should leap for joy.
Leave vengeance to God.
Leave vengeance to God. Question 9.
I'll be church boy, no worry.
Obviously, you didn't go to church enough. The answer is D, leap for joy when faced with persecution.
Hey, so let me tell you
chop this
something.
thing.
Hold on. You see, when you are reading these scriptures, the person who write this question down did a mistake. You should quote the scriptures verbatim, so that for those of us who went to church and who serve God very
early in your life.
I mean, I still serve God, but we didn't have time to go to church as we used to.
My brother, as you are as you are having, the chicken, you have to eat the chicken. I'm the games master here, so you have to follow my rules.
But you know that I'm not a food person.
But you should be. But so I'll forgive you. So
I like this one I do.
Formal and informal education, how has it shaped your career as a whole? Would your trajectory have been different in the industry if you hadn't had, if you hadn't experienced 4 walls of a classroom?
On a more serious note,
yeah.
I think there is a need for both. Particularly because it is art and craft.
Yes.
The work that we do. The craft is what you learn.
Okay.
On the streets, in town.
Okay.
The art is what you learn in gown, as at the 4 walls of the university.
Yeah.
And it may not be a university, it would be a drama school,
film school, acting school, yeah.
But there's a need for an uplift, so that there's a balance. Because I think that when I speak about what I do, I speak from a place of practice and then a place of theory,
Theory as well.
which is very important because practice begets theory. From the great Constantine Stanislavski, Grotowski, Bertolt Brecht, it was practice first that gives us the theory. It wasn't theory that gives us the practice. Because people experimented first.
Yeah.
Before they can say, okay, this is how this works. They would not do that and then try it again.
Try it again, yeah.
So, education, that's the formal goals, it's not something that I think I joke with, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to have done that.
Okay.
Because
because
there's no difference between me and the regular street artist.
Because a lot of people, let me not say a lot of people, but young people growing up these days, they feel, Shebi is Nollywood. I can just enter now. What do they do there? Is it not just to act like this? And so a lot of young people these days have that kind of mindset. And
so that mindset also may be born from William Shakespeare's All the World is a Stage, and all men about actors, which is what the Bible says eventually. And the Bible says the same thing.
Yeah.
Because we were born, we will die. So everybody has an entrance point. Your entry point is when you were born. Your exit point is when you die. However, how you choose to practice, how you choose to navigate your art is what makes you different from every other person. Imagine that we're having this conversation now and I know nothing about rudiments of acting or rudiments of performance or rudiments of the arts. All I know is I wake up, I go. And so, fortunately for people like us, in that my set when we were at NCAC, we were fortunate to have been taught by people who actually were in school. So even if I didn't go to the university, I wasn't just learning art on the street. Victor Eze went to OAU, if I'm not mistaken. Do you get? Victor Thompson was in school. Shoaib was saying, move from Ife. So those were the people under whose tutelage we passed, even though they were practicing already. They are done with school practicing. But we were fortunate to have fallen under their feet to learn. They were falling at the master's feet to learn. And we did that. So it is important to have a formal knowledge. I don't want to use the word education now, because education will be streamlined, like you have to go to the university. You can have a formal knowledge, you can. And these days, is education made easy? Yes, Google. But before you are able to read that Google, you have to learn how to read and write.
Read and write, yeah.
So you have to have that. You have to have it. So that it just makes you different. It makes you become the master of your craft, the master of your art. Like the Bible says, I'm the author and finisher of my faith. Do you understand? So it makes you become that master, that author and finisher. So you know what you're doing, you know what you are doing well, you can read it between the lines, you can talk about the subtext, you can talk about the character advancement and development. I don't have to speak English.
Wow. What's your best stage play so far? Don't tell me Death and the King's Horseman.
Why? You can't tell me what I want to
tell you. Yeah, tell me.
Are you all right? Is it your place?
Tell me.
So, that will also be dependent on the occasion. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you ask me now, I'll say Death and the King's Horseman. I'll tell you why. I first did that play in 2009 at Terra Culture.
And you played Election Oba.
As a performer, you grow.
Yeah.
You advance.
Yeah.
So over time, I've grown in performance. I've grown in age. I understand literature more. I understand the language more. I understand the Yoruba cosmology more. So having the opportunity to do it under the direction of the Bolanle Austin Peters again.
Shout out to Bolanle Austin Peters.
Was a different experience. And like I said to her, except they show me another version that can beat that. I said, it's the best version of Death and the King's Horseman that I have seen. And I do not say this because I'm a part of it. I've seen other shows of the same play. So I'll pick that.
Death and the King's Horseman.
Yeah.
I would say, of course, if you don't know, Death and the King's Horseman was written by Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate. So yeah. So let's get back to the questions.
I got pick the one I want to play. Don't stress me.
Sorry. Olarotimi Fakunle Michael. Olarotimi Michael Fakunle. You've only gotten one correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. You sure know I went to school.
Yeah, I know you're good.
You know I went to at least.
I mean, we've been talking, so government.
I will say it, but continue.
Diplomatic missions among the Commonwealth member states are referred to as 1. Legations, B. High commissions, C. Embassies, D. Consulates. Diplomatic missions among the Commonwealth member states are referred to as A. Legations, B. High commissions, C. Embassies, D. Consulates.
You read the options again, but I want to say something to whoever said this question.
Yeah, you say it after.
I'm not writing WAEC.
Hold
on.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I don't want anybody jail.
I'm
not writing WAEC. This is supposed to be like, okay, because of the SmartOnes.
Yeah, you can show us.
So now they will say that I'm not smart.
No, I never said that. Who said that? Who said that here?
Use it again. You might be jailing me.
Diplomatic missions among the Commonwealth member states are referred to as legations, high commissions, embassies, consulates.
Consulates.
Question 4.
I don't know if I got the answer. Right. I'm eating.
You're already eating.
What's the answer?
The answer is actually high commissions.
Okay. So I'm the one that said it afterwards. And the one that said it afterwards. I said what's the answer? I said high commissions.
No.
Because I had an afterthought.
Yeah, but you still didn't get it. Sorry, sir.
What over
1 over. Okay, so this one is literature in English. But at my back, I always hear. Sorry. Am I deleting now? But at my back. But at my back, I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near.
I'm supposed to know this one.
No. It's so what part of speech is this?
What figure of speech?
Yeah, what figure of speech? But at my back, I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near.
I cannot hear time. Continue.
The options are A, metaphor, B,
it's a metaphor. It's okay.
Question 2. So you have 2. So Olarotimi, education is not a scam.
Yeah, never.
But why do you think, that phrase has grown wings over time?
You've seen graduates not having work. Mm-hmm. And we grew up in an environment now where fraud is extolled and hard work is, So people see people who are not doing, who didn't go to school. Mm-hmm. Our children now wake up to see people who didn't go to school making so much money overnight. And so to them it looks like it's a waste of time to go and spend 4 years or 5 years, sometimes 6 years, 7 years if they strike in school. When I can actually do something illegal to make money. See your life.
Sorry.
When they say go to culinary school and eat.
I'm sorry.
I forgive you, please forgive me, ladies and gentlemen.
Forgive me.
It happens in real life. So I think that's the perception of people now, and it's a wrong one. Because I don't know what you can, because you know what, when we say education, I think maybe we are the ones streamlining it.
Okay.
I know people who've gone to learn how to pump tires. I know that how they used to do it before, they would teach you, it's a process. Yeah?
Yeah, and that is a form of education.
It's a form of education. The only difference is because that is a craft that you have to learn. So what we need to teach people is that you can have that craft. But just be able to read and write. So that you can at least have a way in life. Nobody can cheat you. I mean, there are mechanics who have made so much money.
Yeah.
They have organizers, there are plumbers who are making so much money, who didn't go to a formal school. But it is important that at least the first 633, that's primary into secondary, junior secondary, and tertiary secondary, it is important at least. Now you can decide that, okay, you know what? I don't learn this work now. Why do I need to go to university? But have some form of education. It will save your life, Hey.
Especially if you are looking to expand your horizon.
The scope. Even the scope. You can't do for organizer doing. You have to. There's got to be ways of innovation. You understand? These days now people will use computer to check. Okay, this is where the tire has got issues. How do I fix it? If you don't go to school, you're going to do that. You're going to spend your life doing so much hard work.
You know, because I know that you also worked with the late Wale Ogutokun, and I know you guys have taken shows outside of Nigeria. You know, and of course, after performances, you probably have discussions about the shows that you've done.
So the wealth of language of English and understanding that I have today in terms of the arts, I say that a large extent of that was from Wale Ogutokun. It made me understand the importance of reading with an understanding of checking words. I mean, I grew up in a home where we are forced to read newspaper and watch the news then. It was a thing for us. So we learned how to speak, we learned a lot of things from them. But I'm saying that having someone like a mentor, like a boss who would say, let's pick this script, let's read it. What do you think this is saying here? It broadens your horizon in terms of language, in terms of ideas, even in terms of literature. So, I mean, Wale Ogutokun was a huge part of my success and of my artistry, and I'm forever grateful to him. And God keep blessing his soul wherever he is.
Wherever he is. Let's take the last two questions, and then
I don't get to.
You don't get to.
The fortunate thing. These are my best subjects. So I know flop now.
Oh, okay. English, yeah.
I tell you, I go. What subject?
History.
I go fail.
Now, in the 18th century, Zaria was under the influence of A. Sokoto, B. Daura, C. Kano, D. Borno. In the 18th century, Zaria was under the influence of A. Sokoto, B. Daura, C. Kano, D. Borno.
I'll pick Sokoto, I don't know. Daura and Sokoto is what comes to mind. I pick Sokoto. If I'm wrong, let me.
Okay, chop.
What's the answer?
It's actually Borno. Okay, so the last one for now is biology.
I can try now also. So I only got
this one should be easy. Insulin is produced. Yes, they are telling me, they are reminding me you are not eating the sauce. Oh yeah.
Whoever reminded you that thing, wait for me when I'm done with the show. You understand?
Oh yeah. Insulin is produced by A. Adrenal gland, B. Thyroid gland, C. Pituitary gland, then D. Pancreas. Insulin, insulin, right? It's produced by adrenal gland, thyroid gland, pituitary gland, pancreas.
Adrenal gland.
I choose pancreas for you. Answer is actually pancreas. But I'm using, I'm méjì leg.
You guys have two on the side.
So, after Gangs of Lagos, you've also done a couple of other works.
When you say a couple, that is very disrespectful.
Oh, I'm sorry. You've done a lot of jobs.
No, a couple of great works.
I'm sorry. Yeah, again, education,
See, so I went to school more than you like this.
I know. I'm just here, Sorry.
Who said I've not eaten that thing before? Oh, not eating, I want you.
Which one of you?
Don't worry, come here and see me. Run, no, Murife, don't run.
Run. I'm telling you, whoever said it should run. I'm speaking from experience.
Continue.
So you've done a couple of great works. Can we? I know. Suki.
Recall. Abakalu Dudu. I just finished one with Bolanda St. Peters, but it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. Yeah.
Wire. The Fire and the Moth is coming on the 3rd of June on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Of course, I've worked with Building Savings, our father, done a couple of Yoruba. I've done a couple of great works coming out. I just finished from King of Thieves with Femi
Adebayo. I know you're writing a book. I mean, you couldn't have spent this long in the industry and not put something back.
Yeah, so I'm writing my own, based on my experiences and my development as an actor, as a performer. I'm doing my own, coming out with my own theory of acting that is called the chameleon method.
The chameleon method.
Chameleon method.
Okay.
And it's just to juxtapose vis-a-vis the theories of Stanislavski, again, and a couple of other Kotowski and a couple of other scholars.
When are we likely to see it?
Well, it's in the offing, like you said. I'm sure that, except you want to lie, you've had like a first glance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what I've seen so far.
It's still a work in progress.
Okay.
I want to pour out all I have so that when the future generations pick this book, they can read and understand that. Also know about the trajectory of my journey and the trajectory of my experiences as well. So I'd say it's going to be probably the last quarter of the year. Sadly, because I'm also working and I just want to have time to be able to balance and sit down, probably go to a because I'm speaking to a publisher already.
Okay.
So let's say the last quarter of this year.
Okay.
The book should be ready.
Okay. Now, before you try and redeem yourself, okay, literature in English and government, these last two.
I may fail it, but continue. The goal in life is not to pass. It's not to have one day, don't it.
Okay, so what's the goal?
The goal in life is to try as much as you can, so people can see the effort. So the effort, I'm trying to motivate myself.
And I was like, all right.
Continue.
You take a look at your journey so far, personally and professionally. How would you describe it? How many years? 28.
So to lie down, resign to fate is madness. Up and struggle, the world is struggle. Those lines from Odewale and the gods are not to blame. So those are what Odewale said. Those are the words he said to the people of Kutuke. So for me, it's like no matter how hard life is, to stay in a place and complain about it is madness. You have to keep struggling because the beginning of that place is the struggles of man begins at birth. It is me that begins with the birth of a child. So this struggle continues. It doesn't matter how much success you think you've achieved. To lie down in a place and even talk about your success is madness. You must strive to continue to progress, to advance. Otherwise, people go past you. You understand? You go see the way it is. You go to revel in your past glory. God forbid that become such. So that is my mantra, and that's what I live by. So it's been hard work, more hard work, more hard work, and more hard work. And people try to say work smart. Yeah, I don't know what that means to certain people, but working smart also means working hard and keeping at what you do, giving it 150 to 200%. Okay. I hope in these few words of mine, I'm able to convince you. I'm not confused you that I know what I'm saying.
And book is not a scam. So, last two questions. Government. Ethics and accountability in government can be guaranteed through
Read the option now.
Legislative cooperation,
Ethics.
Executive and judiciary immunity,
I don't forget this one.
due process and transparency,
Due process and transparency.
administrative reform.
I don't care.
What's the question 11?
You don't know.
What did you say?
I don't.
What did you pick? What did you pick?
Administrative reform.
No, you said due process and transparency.
Is that what I said?
That's what you said.
Okay, what's the answer?
Which is the correct answer.
Okay, when was that?
I said I did.
You see? Are you see or you see?
No, I was reading the options. I was reading the options. Okay, the last one. Literature in English.
Okay.
A character that heavily relies on cultural types for his manner of speech, his personality, and other distinguishing characteristics is a character that heavily relies on cultural...
All the options, I heard you.
A, fictional character. B, stock character. C, rounded character.
Stock character. If I don't know this one, they should pursue me out of Nigeria.
So, but seriously, Olarotimi, this one
I
will be
got
pass
4
man. You
out
got
of
4
10.
out of 10. Pass la ma fun. Yeah? Pass or
Let
D.
me tell you something.
Don't tell me.
Cannot tell me what you can give me in this life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Because the most important thing is that I went to school and I know book. What the things I'm doing, I know them, what I told you from the beginning, I will fail maths. I got F9 in maths.
And you did actually.
I know I will get F9. I'm entering the exam. Or it is not. So when you know to thyself be true, I know myself. So if all these questions were probably English and literature, if they were all, I probably would have gotten 8 or 9 or 7. So, bro, 4 is still a good mark, bro. You cannot shame the shameless.
You still try.
Thank you very much.
So, I mean, before I let you go,
they will let you go. Why?
Okay, before we end the show. Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm very sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, so before we end the show, like I said, the show we're trying to change the narrative that education is not scam. So for everyone listening to watching it right now, and they want to do what you do, they want to come up the ranks. It's a tough business, Nollywood, because I'm in it as well, so I know it's a tough business. So what would your advice be? What would be the advice be, really?
Learn, unlearn, relearn. And let me tell you where I say that all the time, because some of the things I learned when I was doing theater at NCAC and practicing on the streets, I learned them when I went to school. Now, when I left school, I'm relearning a lot of things again. But the most important thing is that you have to be schooled. That's what part of education. And it is like you say that acting is a continual process of learning for the actor.
Absolutely.
Because at every turn, you're taking a new script, you're taking a new character, and you can never, until the day you die, you just stop learning. But really, education not be scam. You can just tell now as it be. I'm not saying that people who didn't go to school are not making it legitimately, but I'm saying that education makes it more easier for you. It gives you a lot of advantage that your cohorts who didn't go to school might never have. So education is key. You have to be schooled in what you're doing, in what you want, whatever it is you have decided to do. You want to be an artisan, you want to be a lawyer, and so that's the problem. You can't even be a lawyer without going to school.
We are going to school. Yeah.
The only profession where people will say they have to go to school. Things like what we do.
Yeah.
Like the artisan,
Yeah.
you can learn, but you still need some form of education. It is key and important. It's very key and important. So that those will be my words of encouragement. No matter how little it is, please go to school. At least do 6-3-3-4. Yes,
but I don't think they do 6-3-3-4 anymore. It's like a little bit longer. No. I think primary is a little bit longer now.
No, primary is 60.
It's still 6
years, 3 years junior secondary, 3 years senior secondary,
4 years.
Seemingly 4 years.
4 years.
If Nigeria happens to you, can be 80. But God forbid.
Man, Olarotimi, thank you very much for coming on the show.
I try. I don't chop all this thing finish.
I mean, yeah, you try, but you don't chop the sauce. You don't chop the sauce. I just look you.
Try. Make me and you try.
No,
will last.
No, Mo no doing like that. Mo no doing like that. Mo no doing like
See
that.
See the chop.
Mo no doing like that.
But
okay, so on behalf of the guys, the crew, we have this small gift to give to you. from the SmartOnes crew. It's just a small gift, you know, just to say thank you for coming on the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olarotimi Fakunle, and I want to say thank you, SmartOnes Exclusive TV, for having me on this show. To all my fellow children all over the world who will be watching this show, God will bless you. Please, no matter what you do, make sure you do what? Have some form of formal education. Thank you. God bless you. I'll be coming back on this show. They don't have a choice.
I mean, but that's up to me, right? Because I'm the one presenting the show, so I will decide, you know, the guests that I have on the show.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm so grateful for this. I mean, thank you so much. Thank you. Later. Thank you.
All right, that's the episode for today, the SmartOnes. My name is Similolu Hassan. We'll be doing this as much as we can. Now, if you want to be a part of the show, you want to partner with us, you want to sponsor this show, please, I'm sure something is scrolling on your screens right now. Please reach out to us and let's correct that narrative. Education no be scam. You heard it from Eleniyan.
No be scam.
You take care of yourselves, be good, be safe.